Hi guys, Squirrel here, welcome back to another episode of Trucking Diaries EU. Now, if you remember the last episode, we drove here to Linköping, and we need to sleep. It's 5:30, my guy's yawning, so let's quickly get the resting done, because if I don't do it soon, I'm probably going to get fined for it. There we go. It's now 2:25 AM. What a beautiful time to start work. Let's have a look in the job market and see if we can get lucky with a job. And ideally, I want to go exploring. I don't want to go back the same way. I want to go on the Discovery, get more cities and agencies unlocked and that kind of thing. Also, I don't want to get something too heavy, because that trailer we took last time, this little 360 engine, it's well, it's not so much a struggle. Well, it is actually a bit of a struggle. Like that would be a bit of a struggle. That looks like a beautiful drive. Oh my god. All the way down the coast of Sweden there. We could go through Kalmar, Kristianstad. I'd like to take that. That's not much of a job. What have we got here? We've got important delivery, high value cargo, 5 grand to drive, 192 kilometers. That is a short journey. That's a lot of money for a short journey. An excavator that goes all the way up to Tampere for 12,000. That includes a ferry. Wow, an M163. You get some weird and wacky stuff in the Jazzy Cat packs, you really do. 5 grand. I'd like to get about 10 ideally. An office, an 8-ton office. Empty pallets. That only pays 5 grand though, and there's 200 and, what's that, 800 in ferry. The one that appeals to me about that is the fact that it would get us over to Latvia, and it is nice over here. It's actually quite nice. And it would allow us to carry on that way. In an ideal world, we'd have something actually going into perhaps more of Sweden or over to Norway, but there doesn't appear to be any jobs going in that direction, which is a bit sad. 18 tons. 18 tons for 5 grand. That's got an 800 ferry on it. 24 tons. Ah, dear. I really don't want to haul 24 tons, if I'm honest with you. Because it will take us a while. And we'd have to go straight there. But it's paying quite well. What's that one? 8 tons. I actually might do that one. It goes back, it starts off going back the same way, but then it goes through Vaxjo, Karlskrona, and over to Gunnar. Let's do that one. It's only 8 tons, it pays the same amount, it's a shorter journey. And it won't be so much of a struggle. Right then, let's get the track aisle reset. How much fuel have we got? Okay, we've got 3/4 of a tank, so that should be absolutely plenty. Let's get the sat-nav going here. And which way? Oh, we need to... No, we don't need to do anything. We could refuel. No, there was a discovery point round here, that's right. I knew there was something I wanted to do. Can we get out that way? No, we can't. Okay, brakes. Okay. Sorry, I thought there was something wrong there, but it's fine. It's all working. Yeah, let's do a very quick U-turn. Wait a minute, how far away is this pickup point? Are you kidding me? Could you make that any further? Wow. Okay. Left turn here. Note to self, don't go from first to third. It doesn't like it. What else if I put my lights on? 50% off at Nor Food. Oh yeah, I forgot there was an IKEA here. Wow, some more truck drivers starting early. There we go. Oh, it's the MAN dealer, that was it. It was the MAN dealer. Always worth having. There are in fact a few old MAN trucks that might be worth a look at some point. We'll stick with the Scania for now. 2:30 AM, hardly any traffic on the road. Life is good. You can see why truckers like to set off very early in the morning, just from a traffic perspective. I also bet they like the sunrise as well. Must be kind of cool. Right, the E4 towards Stockholm. Is it me? Is it like we've got no side window? Look at that. Look how... Okay, there's a bit of reflection at the top. I thought for a second we had absolutely no side window. This engine's quite noisy, and weirdly enough, the acoustics of this makes it sound like it's coming from behind us. It's a bit weird because the engine's like right underneath us. Easy does it. Right. Let's get it up to 5L. Yeah, 8-ton cat. This 8-ton cat should be a lot easier to handle as well. You know, we should be able to maintain our speed better and go up and down the hills. There's another engine unlock because we got to level 4 at the end of the last journey. That's the thing about the first 5 or 6 levels, they come thick and fast. Oh, speeding. But we got to level 4, which unlocked a couple of accessories like bull bars, things I don't really want, cosmetic stuff really, which I'm not bothered about at this stage. I'd rather pay off debts than start sticking bull bars on my Scania. But it also unlocked a new engine, which is a 372 brake horsepower, which is only a very, very small upgrade from the 360 we've got, so I'm not going to bother with that. I think whenever the next upgrade comes, assuming we're staying with the Scania, if it's like 300 and if it's like 400 plus, I might go with it. What I could do, thinking about this, is I could give... I was going to say I could give the Scania to one of the AI drivers, one of the workers that we're going to hire, and I could pick up a different truck altogether. But the problem when you do that is that in order for the AI to carry on having this particular truck, you need to have this mod enabled. And I don't really want to do that. And the moment you remove it, it reverts them back to a default Scania, like a red Scania. So I don't think that's a good plan. It would always be better to trade it in. I know that, I don't know if you know or not, but 50k, he joined the SCS team not that long ago, and 50k used to do a DAF XF truck mod, a very good one, and he's now joined SCS as a developer over there. And part of onboarding him into SCS, I don't know if you read the blog post about it, but they're upgrading the DAF and basically taking bits out, I think, out of his mod and integrating it into the DAF that you can use in the game. So they kind of bring in his mod into the base game almost. I don't know when that releases, but when it does release, I don't know what level we'll be, how much money we'll have, etc., because I have literally no idea when that's going to release. I know they're working on it, but I could, or I may do, switch to that DAF at that point, even if it's just to check it out, just to drive, you know, a few thousand miles in it, to see what it's like. I may just do that. But yeah, that's further down the line, I suspect. Okay, we're approaching the pickup point here. And my guess is it's going to be a quarry. Which explains why we're having to drive out so far. Braked a little bit late for that bend. But yeah, actually thinking about it, if I'd have taken that 24-tonner, I'm suspecting it would have spawned in this quarry, and I honestly don't know if we'd have actually got it out of the quarry. Ah, it's okay. It's not so much a quarry. Yeah, we could have got it out of here. It's more of an excavation site. But if we'd have actually had that in a quarry, I doubt we'd have even got it up the hill. Ouch. Wow, that suspension is a bit tough. Put the brake on. Freight market. Driller. 8 tons. D50. The D50. 50mm drill. Right, how do we get to that then? Looks like we might be better going to the left. I don't know if the right goes that way. Is there a sign here? Nope. It's interesting that we're not actually told which way to go. Actually, I could have gone over that ramp, couldn't I? I think you're meant to go... I saw it at the last second. I think there's some weighing scales. Maybe you're supposed to pull it back this way, I don't know. Yeah. This is definitely the easier way to go and pick it up. I very much doubt I'll be able to bring it out this way. We'll probably have to go that way. Right, let's see if I can actually reverse in a little bit better than I did last time. There we go. We don't have a beacon. The trailer has a beacon though, so we can activate that, which is cool. It's all perfectly legal. Yeah, look at that. It's hauling this way more effectively. Now we just need to make sure we don't clip on anything above us here. Ah, there's a second weigh scale here, look. Very handy. Wow, that trailer only just fit out of there. I don't think it's going to fit through here. I'm genuinely worried. Wow. See, the thing is, this trailer's actually very long, and I'm not sure that pickup point's built for this trailer. Okay, we got it. We're out of the 3:44 AM. Driller D50. Right, where's it we're going again? We are going to Gdynia and Posped in Gdynia. I presume that's how you pronounce that. And we're heading down to the ferry first, but what I need to do quickly is have a look at the journey and see if there's any kind of rerouting we want to do. We don't need to go that way. We could go all the way through Kalmar instead, but by going this way, can we route like that? That should pick up that city there, and we definitely... Oh, we're going through Karlskrona anyway, and there's no other discoverables. Then we get on the ferry, and then we're going to be in Gdynia, and drop off. We're going to go past one discoverable, get to here, and then there's another one. So that's actually quite good. There's not a lot of rerouting going on here. So as long as we can maintain the right speed limit, we should be able to get there pretty much on time. Oh, I love it when traffic is like this. Yeah, I'm still going through singles, like I'm going low to high. Once we get to 3, I go low to high. I split it all the way, and it seems to work out pretty well in this truck. I'm getting used to it now. Okay, nothing coming. We're all clear. Wow, where did that coach come from? Pretty certain that didn't come out the excavation site. Speed limit 70 down there, blimey. Okay. Right, let's settle down into the journey here. Do you know, as I looked down there, it said I had 666 kilometers left. I'm like, whoa. Not going to read that out. Thankfully, it's come down quite quickly. Do you know what? I don't know if you've been watching any of my Fernbus stuff, but it's interesting when you go from playing American Truck Sim to European Truck Sim, you notice that the kilometers take quite a lot longer to do because of the scaling differences, and the difference between Eurotruck and Fernbus is even more pronounced because it is about half the scale. It's insane. It's like 1 to 10 instead of 1 to 20 what Eurotruck has. So even more, you're like even further along the reality lines. In that, you know, 1 kilometer in the game represents 10 kilometers in the real world. In this, 1 kilometer in the game represents 20 kilometers in the real world, approximately. There are places where it's 1 to 19, but... And then in American Truck, it's like 1 to, what is it, 36, I think it is? Which they're obviously working on to bring it back, but... It does make you look at the mileage and think, like when you start getting jobs that are 1,000 kilometers long and you're thinking, yeah, it's actually going to take me quite a while of driving back in the real world. That's a long way, that is. Of course, assuming that you go at more or less at the speed limits, because obviously you don't have to. You can do 100 on the motorway if you want to. It'll certainly get you there quicker. Okay, right, we're locked in cruise control at 75. Again, I don't have a retarder, so I can't really control the descent very well, apart from hitting the brake. One thing I've noticed about this truck is the dash. Like if you look at the displays there, the instrumentation display, you get a lot of reflection on it, which is kind of weird because you're inside a cab, which doesn't even have a sunroof, but you seem to get a lot of reflection on it. And watch what happens when we sort of turn around a bend. Sometimes it goes so like white matte that you can't actually read anything that's on the display, and it's a little bit odd. You can see it's gone a bit darker there because we turn right, and now I can see it. But watch what happens when we turn left. You see, as it more or less faces the sun, it kind of whitens out quite a bit, but it does go a lot worse than that. I mean, other than that, the dashboard is not bad. It's laid out pretty, you know, decently, reasonably accurately, but the actual texturing could be a lot better, I think. It's very much plasticky. It really is plasticky. I mean, I know that things were more plasticky back then anyway. That's a given, but it doesn't render very well. Let me put it that way. I've seen things rendered a lot better, so I assume that's a texture problem that they have. We are, of course, on DirectX 9. One day, I would hope we'll be on DirectX 11, and then I would think that there'll be better rendering capabilities anyway in DirectX 11, and things will look an awful lot better. But we'll have to see. Maybe by the time SCS gets round to that, we'll actually be on DirectX 12, which I still actually... I need to go and look that up, actually. I want to know when they're going to release DirectX 12. Because I've not actually heard anything for quite a long time. It's been talked about for a long time, but never appears to be releasing. So I need to go and check up on that, see if there's a release date on DirectX 12. If you're buying like a graphics card these days, a reasonably modern, you know, new model graphics card, it will more or less support DirectX 12 out the box, and DirectX 12 does have a number of features, but one of the more interesting features of DirectX 12, which I don't know if you know or not, it kind of lets you use, particularly I think with Windows 10, Or is it Windows 10 that does it? Hang on. Maybe I'm getting mixed up here. It could be Windows 10 that allows it, but I think it's DX12. It allows you to use heterogeneous cards in a like SLI configuration, effectively. What that means is I could stick in a GTX 980, for example, into my machine, and then I could also put a GTX 1080 in my machine, and they're different cards, but I could still get DirectX 12. I think it is DirectX that does it. I could still get DirectX 12 to bridge both of them together and use the power reasonably effectively. Whereas at the moment, the only way to do that is to get two identical cards and connect them together in like an SLI configuration, or if you're on AMD, a Crossfire configuration. But I've got a feeling that DirectX 12 will... It kind of takes care of that layer itself. So it will look at your cards, and you could even have an NVIDIA card, and this is the really interesting stuff. You could have an NVIDIA graphics card and an AMD graphics card in your machine. And I think I vaguely remember reading somewhere that, you know, like one of them is better at graphical rendering and drawing, and the other one is better at raw computational grunt. And the theory is that once DirectX 12 comes out, you can kind of pick and match combos of cards in order to get the best experience. And I like that. I like the sound of that. If DX12 is going to do that, I think that's going to change the market a little bit, because, well, in theory, you could, you know, AMD could go, well, we can't compete with what Nvidia's doing in terms of its fabrication technology because we just don't have that. But what we can focus on is something that we're good at, and they could put something in the card that can take care of, I don't know, computational stuff, and then people would buy it and use it in conjunction with an Nvidia card and let DirectX 12 use both cards, and they would get the best of both worlds. Look how reflective it is now, look at that. How insane is that? Look, it's like snow, I can't even read it. But yeah, again, I need to look it up because I've not actually checked when it's, or even if it's been announced with a release date yet. It's just something that, you know, we're all kind of waiting for, I think. What do we want here? Second gear? Some people are asking me about indicating on roundabouts and why I, for example here, indicate left all the way around the roundabout. And then I indicate right to leave the lane, even though I've got a guy going around the outside of me, but whatever. They ask why I do that. And the reason is because, well, I'm British. Excuse me. I'm British. And I was trained and examined on British roads, and I follow the British Highway Code. And there's a section in the British Highway Code that deals with roundabouts. I know this doesn't apply. Like if you drive in Europe, then they don't do it quite this way. But there is actually a section, I think it's section 22 or 28 or something. I did actually post it on one of my video comments. I replied to a guy. And it deals with exactly why I do that, because that's just the way the Highway Code recommends it. And to some extent, I actually do agree with it. I think it makes a lot of sense. The idea is that both before and when you're on the roundabout and exiting it, people know what you're doing. Like, the intention is there. The indicators are firing to say where you're going. If you're going straight over, of course, it's a different story, because, you know, if we're going straight over a roundabout, we don't actually indicate. Apart from, like, when you're about to get off. That's the only point where we indicate. In Europe, I believe, they don't indicate, it doesn't matter which junction they're getting off, they don't indicate until they're about to get off. Whereas in the UK, we would indicate, or like, if we know where we're going, then you indicate before you even get to the roundabout. It's kind of easier to draw and see on a highway code book than it is for me to explain it. But anyway, you can always go and look at the British Highway Code online, and you can just search for the section on roundabouts and read it, and perhaps it will make more sense than I'm explaining it. But that's why I do what I do, just to answer that question. Okay, I think we need to stay in 4H here because we've still got a 70 limit. Let me just back it off a little bit. Okay, right, cruise control that. How long is it till we need to rest, actually? I know we've got a small ferry crossing, but I don't know how big it is. Oh, look at that view. It's so lovely. Have you ever looked at footage from Eurotruck from years ago? Have a look at some of my videos. It's pretty hilarious how far things have come. I mean, that's not just down to an advancement in graphics cards either. That's also down to the fact that SCS which owns its graphics engine, has upgraded things on the way. And everything just looks quite a bit different to how it did 3 years ago. But pretty soon, of course, we shall be replacing our textures outside with the autumn mod. So as we kind of get into September, October, I'll switch out this wonderful summery feel that we have outside the door here with an autumn feel. I have noticed the hours are drawing in the UK. I know it's, you know, I actually don't mind so much because it was like, oh man, June was doing my head in. You know, June is like the longest day of the year in June. And the days are so ridiculously long. Like in the UK, I know it depends where you live in the world, but in the UK, where I happen to live, you're talking like almost 18 hours of daylight and 6 hours of night. Now if you live even further north, like in Scotland, it's even more pronounced. And if you live in places like Norway, like further up Norway, it's 24 hours once you hit the Arctic Circle, but it's too much because, you know, I sometimes, well, quite often work late into the night, so I'll work till 1 or even 2 AM, sometimes even 3 AM. And it had gotten to the point where I'd be finishing up my work at 3 AM, and I'd step out of my office to go into my house, and the sky was turning like a light shade of blue. And about an hour later, because I remember going to bed once at 3 o'clock, and the sky had already started to turn a light blue, and an hour later I was lying there just trying to go to sleep, and the birds suddenly kicked off outside at 4 AM. Because the sun, they basically kick off when the sun is about to rise. And they were all just tweeting away, like their day was just starting as I'm coming into bed. I was like, oh, I can't deal with this. And then, you know, I'd sort of go back to work when I got up. I'd work through the day, and then in the evening, I'd look outside and think, oh, it's quite light outside. It must only be 5 o'clock. Wrong. It was like 8 PM. What is going on? I just can't deal with it. So, you know, we're in August now, and I'm kind of liking the fact that the days are, you know, becoming something a bit more natural in my mind. Like right now, for me, it's 8:30 PM, and I'm looking outside, and it's starting to go. It's not dark yet. You can still see in colour, but it's starting to. And it, you know, by 4 AM, I don't think it will be. The birds won't be tweeting at 4 AM. It might be 4:30 now. So it's not quite as crazy as it was in the height of June. Okay, my trailer's so going to hit this guy. Oh my god. Or, even better, I'm going to get hit by a coach that stuck its nose like just a little bit too far out. That's awesome. So, I'm worrying about him. Meanwhile, the coach is like, yeah, I'll have some of that. So that probably damaged something. Yep. Thank you very much, coach, because I'm now going to be penalised, not just for the damage to the trailer, which you did, but also I have to repair 6% damage to my truck. Oh man, I don't even know what to say about that. Oh well. That's coming out my bottom line. 6% damage on a truck like this. Maybe 1 or 2% was down to wear and tear, maybe. But not that much. I may have dropped from an excellent delivery down to a good delivery now. I'm not really sure how I can counter that. Like a coach just pulling out on me like that. What can you do? You can't tell him not. Wow, 20 mile an hour zone. Well, 30 kilometers, 20 mile an hour zone down here. It's residential. It's almost like being over in Arizona. Thought I was going to get hit again then. That's the only downside of going through these little towns, is you can get caught out like that. Okay, if nothing's coming, cool. And get a run up. So I'm still conscious. I'm consciously changing gear. I'm having to think about my gear still because I'm not fully, like, mentally I'm not automatic on the Scania yet, if you see what I mean. I'm having to think about where my shifters are going and what gear I need to move up to and stuff. So sometimes while my brain is working that out, I forget to talk, which is what just happened. Okay, 90. Good stuff. Shouldn't be too far down to the ferry now. Slow down, slow down, slow down. It's so very scenic down here though, look at this. That is beautiful. I tell you what, I don't know what it's like living next to a lake like that. I imagine it's pretty cool. Like, pretty awesome. Like, you just open your curtains in the morning, go on your balcony, I assume they have balconies, and then just eat your breakfast on the balcony looking across the lake. It must be fantastic. But equally, I would, you know, I know insects like to congregate near water, like particularly things like mosquitoes and all that kind of stuff, and I would worry about the fact of, well, just having too many insects in your life, just being bitten too much. That's the downside, I think. Am I wrong? What's it like living next to lakes? Do you get this problem, or is it only in warm climates? Like, I don't know. If you live in Sweden or Norway near a lake, then maybe you're fine. Maybe it's just a bit too cold, and only in the height of summer you might suffer. But if you live next to a lake in, I don't know, Florida or something, where it's pretty warm and humid, then you might have a serious issue. But I genuinely don't know. I've never had the privilege of living next to a body of water like that. Maybe one day. Actually, Scotland's got a lot of lochs, hasn't it? You could live next to a loch in Scotland. I imagine that'd be okay. Although I imagine it's quite pricey because there's not, you know... If it's near a loch or a lake, chances are there are not many properties, and getting planning permission to build there is pretty difficult, I would have thought. I would have thought they're in high demand. Like beachfront property, that's always in high demand. There's only one beachfront, so anything else is inland. Always commands a premium. Okay, we're coming up on, I think, Karlskrona. I can see it on the map though. Not that far away. Yep, Karlskrona. Oop, slow down. Wow, the brakes are suddenly very keen. Come on, if you're going to change now. Nicely done, sir. Of course, I'm in slightly the wrong gear. Gdynia, there it is. ETA is 8 PM. Interesting. So that means the ferry is only a couple of hours, probably. Karlskrona discovered. Sightseer progress 10 of 26. What an odd number. What made them go for 26, I wonder? Trying to work out then whether to go around here in 3H or 3L. I opted for 3L, it turned to be the right choice. Those bus stops there, just waiting for SCS to actually implement a coach simulator. Is it going to happen? Who knows? In the meantime, we've always got Fernbus, which still has some bugs, but is kind of getting there. Well, I say some bugs. It's still got some fairly significant howlers at the moment in terms of the AI and the clipping boxes and things, but they're still a few weeks away from release. They could still fix them on time. Curry European. No, don't go from first to third. It doesn't work. Even with an 8-ton trailer. Okay, I'm getting used to those revs. Just went from 3H to 4L and dropped it nicely into the green band there. So 4L to 4H. Look at that. Just at the bottom of the green band again. Now this is a man-made link across, isn't it? This is like where they just filled it with rubble. The thing is, it must change the ecosystem when they do this. You effectively split a lake in two. So what makes you do that? Oh, hang on, maybe no, they allowed it to... Ah, yeah, did you see that? They kind of mostly land-made it, and then towards the end there, it turned into a bridge, which of course lets the water flow beneath. So, I see what they did. I'm guessing that's cheaper to do, because you don't need to build a bridge, you just kind of lay the land and then tarmac over the top of it. Right, we're at the port. It's only 9:30 AM. Yeah, I just noticed my little curtains here. Right next to me here. You see them? You can see them better over there. Drop down bunk. It's not bad, is it? That's not what it wants, is it? Please tell me. No, that's the pickup point. I thought I'd driven past it then. I wish they'd changed the colour of the icons as well as the actual look of it. You know, like if those floaty things were always blue. If this one was always blue because, well, it's water, yeah? It would be so much more intuitive. And then they could have, I don't know, jobs as green, and then the truck dealers and stuff could be red. Just to distinguish it. Okay, let's have a look where we're going. Port Gdynia. 10.5 hours. Okay, well that's going to count as a sleep. It's going to be like 6 PM or something. Wow, and the engine's still running. That's interesting. So it spawned me here with the engine still running, the light's still on, the beacon on, and somehow I managed to get low air pressure. That's amazing. Right, it's 8:10. Our ETA was... Well, I don't know what it is. I can't remember what it was now. I thought it was something past 8, but... we're pretty close. I'm so annoyed about the coach damage that we got. That's really annoyed me, that is. I think that's the kind of thing you should be able to take out insurance for, like you can in American Truck Sim. It has co-insurance for it. But I always think... I don't like the way they did it in American Truck Sim. Like, it just happens automatically. Everything just basically costs $200 and that's that. Whereas I actually think you should have to opt in. You should have to pay the premium. Like, every week it should say to you, next week's insurance is this amount. Do you want to take it, yes or no? And the amount should be calculated. Like, if you didn't have any claims in that week, it should go down 10%, so you can get the no claims discount. And they should do insurance that way, so if you claim off it, the price goes back up next week. Also, if you get bigger engines, then the insurance goes up. Like, if the value of the truck is more, the insurance has to go up appropriately. That would be a better system. But that kind of brings me back to something that I've said in a previous video about, you know, they need to focus on some of the gameplay now. And stop bringing out flag accessories, just focus on gameplay elements. Things that keep you wanting to play the game more. Okay, I think it was left down here, just waiting for my sat-nav to update. Oh no! Whew. I thought I was going to get done. Guarantee we'll stop and the lights will change. Okay, I don't guarantee that. I take it all back. What is that coach doing down there? Oh my god. Can you see that? It looks like the coach drivers have turned into trolls. They're hitting everybody, including me. Wow, are they building a stadium here or something? That thing in front of us, what is that? Wait, we're going up here? We are, aren't we? Pop spid. Right. Is that a protest? That's hilarious. The police are out and there's a protest and they're like in the back row. Oh, there's Volvo there. They're in the back. Maybe it's Volvo? Maybe they're protesting because I've got Scania. I don't know. It's funny how of all the places to have a protest, you do it in probably the quietest road that you can find. That is so hard to see what is going on with that wide angle lens. I think I've more or less misjudged this one. Yep. It's okay out the left mirror, but out the right mirror it's really tricky to see what's going on. Should do it. There we go. Parking brake on. Let's get that report. Good work. Okay, what's the penalty? 2,000. 2,000 out of my 12. That's painful. 98 XP out of my 376. That's like knocking on 20-25%. That's a lot. See, these penalties at the low level, they really do hurt, you know? Okay, let's go down the road to here, where we shall discover the Volvo dealer. Wait, we can't go that way. That road was blocked off. Does that mean I can't discover the Volvo? I need to look at the sat-nav better. Yeah, we can't go the way it's saying. That's where the protest is. How does this work then? Oh, can we go that way? Okay, I think maybe we can go around the back that way. That looks to be too small for a stadium over there. But I can't think what else that could be, unless it's like a massive water tower. Maybe it is a stadium. Thing is, it's 8:30 at night. I don't want to rest again. because we don't need it. And the thing is, once you've got a bank loan, you really don't want to rest, because that daily payment happens whether you like it or not. Whether you work that day or have a sleep, the payment's going to come out the next morning. So you want to get as much money as you can. But equally, I don't want to drive all the way through the night, which is pretty much what we're facing right now. Don't know why that daft's letting me go. There they are. What are they protesting about? Need DLA or something? Ouch. Ouch. That suspension is way too firm. Can you please get off the road? Okay, we already got that. It's like some weird industrial estate, this. There's a garage there that we could own one day. Not today, though. I'm going to check the finances in a minute and see what's been going on. There we go. Yeah, those scumbags down there completely blocked the way. Traverse into the Volvo dealer. Because we can. There we go. Right. Lights are off. Handbrake's on. Engine is now off. The sun is setting. Let's have a quick look at the bank situation. So we've already had one payment taken out, which is great. Let's go to the driver manager and see what we've been doing. Okay, let's see. Profit per distance, 18 euros per kilometre. Profit per day, 11,400. That's a pretty good rate, to be fair. Daily profit, 5,500. Total distance driven, 852 kilometres. Right, so we're on 1,000. What are we on? 31,000 now. I reckon in a couple of days we can at least pay half of that off, you know. Quite easily. But that will have to wait for another day. That is the end of another Trucking Diaries. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Until next time, happy trucking.